Hey guys, Naomi here at the IGN E3 live show, streaming at you on e3.ign.com. Final Fantasy XIII introduced fans to an expansive new world. You may be wondering what happened after the story ended, but wonder no more. IGN badass Ryan Clements is here to talk Final Fantasy XIII 2.
Thank you very much, Naomi. I'm Ryan Clements, and thank you guys for joining us. We have Final Fantasy XIII-2 to look at, and I am joined by Parker Sapp, North American Brand Manager of Final Fantasy XIII-2. Dude, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. So I guess let's start off and take a look at this demo, and I mean, why don't you just tell us what we're looking at here? What do we got?
Sure, so we're in a new location here. It's actually technically returning. It's called Brescia. Anybody who played 13 might be familiar with Lake Brescia. It's going to look way different in this case, and we're jumping right into a cinematic here. We're going to see this Moogle pal that's going to follow us around through the demo. That's Sarah, Lightning's younger sister. Lightning was a protagonist for 13. And then Noel, who's a new character we just announced for 13-2, just in E3.
The guy that we have.
That's the guy in the blue pants, yeah.
Perfect.
He's got 2 swords on his back. He's kind of a melee fighter, dual wielder. Complements Sarah nicely. She's more of a magic user here. So.
All right, cool. And this is a direct sequel to 13, so that means we're seeing events that transpire after you saw the ending of the original one, right?
Exactly. The setting here is that Lightning has kind of gone missing, so
that's not good.
It's not good. Well, Sarah, being her younger sister, is doing the right thing, going to look for her.
Cool.
For whatever reason, she's teamed up with Noel here, and they're kind of investigating this situation. Now they're in this location. They kind of were dropped here mysteriously, but we're gonna see something happen in a minute with this giant hand. We start to animate.
Can anything ever be good happen with a giant hand mysteriously animating? I don't think so.
Just gonna keep going downhill here.
All right, here we go. So we're about to see a boss battle coming up, right?
Correct.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what sort of changes can we expect in the battle system from 13-2 from the original?
Well, you know, before we get to that, actually, what we're going to see in this first battle is kind of since this is early on in the game, we're going to get set up with something that's very similar to 13. We're going to kind of show that the paradigm system, as you remember it, if you're familiar with paradigms from 13, those are all intact.
Okay.
A lot of that's remained true to 13, but at the same time, there are going to be features coming in later on in the demo that we'll get to. And for now, let's just kind of enjoy watching this very cinematic battle.
With the Moogle, actually.
By the way, that Moogle does turn into Sarah's weapon. He's a bow or a sword, depending on the distance. He's kind of a multi-function guy. He's got another use later on.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So here
I
we
wish
are.
my dog transformed into a sword. Pretty much, that'd be awesome.
Up against burglars. So this is the fight we're in now. We're fighting against this giant boss, this giant hand. It's kind of attached to an invisible body there.
Okay.
As you're seeing, we're kind of going through paradigms. Right now we're set to slash and burn, so we've got a commando and a ravager dealing some magic damage and physical damage at the same time.
Okay. And to describe for anyone that doesn't know, a paradigm is essentially a collection of roles. It's the roles assigned to each person.
Correct.
And that's kind of the word that you guys have been using to describe it.
Yeah, you know, in older Final Fantasy terms, you can call them character classes, essentially.
Yeah.
We've got like a warrior and a black mage right now.
And this is new, right here.
So that's called a cinematic action sequence. These are new to 13-2. Basically, mid-battle, you're going to see these miniature cutscenes come in. During those, you'll have a quick time event that'll show up on screen. If you complete it successfully, you'll get some kind of bonus. In this case, we buffed our characters. Noel's got Brave, which will increase his attack, and Sarah's got Faith, which will increase her magic.
Okay, excellent. Now, is this the kind of opening boss battle where we can't die, or are we actually in peril of death right now?
You're always in peril of death. This one's not quite as dire. I think we'll probably make it out of this one alive.
All right.
But, you know, we're going to just keep whittling away at this guy and see if we can take him down. He's only about a third dead so far.
All right, well then talk to me a little bit about another element. Oh, here we go. Yeah. This is good
There's
news.
a second cutscene right here.
So Noah is making, I think, a terrible decision in trying to climb up the giant hand.
It's the bold choice. He's going to go after this invisible head right here.
Okay, there we go.
Another quick time event.
Very good.
So you can see we dealt some damage there, but it's not really having much of an effect.
Yeah.
Something isn't quite right. You know, we're going to keep pounding away at this guy. You know, we can also talk about the Stagger Bar is something up at the top right of the screen.
That's what I was going to ask before, yeah.
As that fills up, typically an enemy will become much weaker. Once we've staggered them, you can put a lot more damage on them quickly.
Right.
This boss in particular can't be staggered, so that's kind of one of his other... Yeah, right? In addition to being invisible, of course, as all invisible monsters are, cannot be staggered.
Okay, but we have managed to get through this battle.
Yeah, we've weakened him. Now he's not quite dead yet.
Okay.
What we're going to do is wander around now, but we got some help coming in.
Okay.
Got these
Do we know who these characters are?
We don't yet, no. We're not saying who they are.
All right.
But they're obviously coming in. They know what's going on. They're going to start chattering on their radio, and They're pretty convenient that they're showing up right about now.
It is convenient. It also seems very dangerous that I believe they're about to unleash a missile salvo of some kind onto the boss.
Maybe.
With our heroes right here.
Well,
Wouldn't that be dangerous for Noah and Sarah right now?
These guys are professionals. They know right where to hit.
Excellent.
So one more quick time event.
Okay.
We kind of controlled them for a moment,
Okay.
and it looks like that had some sort of effect
doing
there.
something.
Yeah. Some flashy sequences right there.
Now is this I didn't see, is this in-game engine or was this
This is all in game.
CG?
Yeah,
It's all in-game.
everything we're going to show today is in game.
All right, very cool. That is good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
And 5-star ranking.
5 stars.
Look at that. It's the classy establishment here we have going on.
It's encouraging, right?
Yes.
Keeps you going.
I like it. All right, so what are we going to see next?
So we're going to actually skip through a couple of cutscenes just for the sake of avoiding spoilers, and we're going to drop you right into this kind of open environment. You're going to see this is Brescia. Again, anybody familiar with Lake Brescia from 13 is going to see that this is going to be very different in terms of its appearance, even the layout. Everything's very different. So while you'll see things returning in name, in actuality, they're going to look very different here.
Okay.
We're going to walk around a little bit. You can see that there's some NPCs. This girl's named Alyssa. She plays a more important role in this area, but she'll have dialogue options. She's got plenty. Anybody with a speech bubble you can speak to. We're going to keep walking around here and just kind of show that these environments are a little more expansive, a little more open. You're not going to fight any enemies here, so it kind of harkens back to the older Final Fantasy with towns.
That was something that a lot of people wanted out of the original Final Fantasy XIII, was just more towns to explore, and that seems to be something that was addressed in this sequel, right?
Exactly. You know, it's all going to play out differently with 13 being so different from any other installment because of the capabilities of the consoles now and so many changes have been made. But towns are in a way intact in that form, so you can explore a little bit. We're going to kind of run right up now and look at the map for a minute. We're going to point out this objective way at the top of the screen. Go a little north. That yellow dot shows where Atlas is. Now, what happened in the meantime is that Atlas still lives. He kind of went to a different part of this area, so we're going to track him down and see if we can find him again.
All right, sounds good. And are there like other things you can do in these areas? Are there any treasures you can find? Any like shops you can visit? I mean, the classic Final Fantasy staples.
No shops in this demo. There are definitely treasures that we passed by back in town.
Okay.
We're about to come up on another big feature that's called the Mog Clock, that circular device that just appeared. When enemies come on screen, that Mog Clock will show up. If you can attack the enemy while the clock is showing green, you'll get a preemptive strike.
Okay.
It's going to show here we got haste on our characters, so we're going to move a lot more quickly.
It also seems to have done quite a number on the stagger gauge and give you a little bonus at the start. Is that
exactly?
correct?
That's exactly right. Yeah, stagger will start almost completely filled, so
beautiful.
Kind of burn right through these enemies.
That would have taken longer normally.
Exactly. Now that crystal's pretty important. Those enemies actually turned into a crystal. They're going to be added to our inventory here. So they've now been brought into our party. Yeah, exactly. Right. That third slot, you notice we were just 2 characters so far. Final Fantasy XIII always featured 3 characters.
Okay.
That third slot is actually reserved for the monster. So when we get into the next fight, we'll show you how that all works out.
Let's do it.
But quickly, this is called a live event. There's basically miniature cutscenes that'll take place in the field. You don't stop the gameplay for them. You can keep running if you want. If you've got a mission, just keep on going. But these kind of add a little more variety there. Do you see him jump right there?
What are you talking about?
We just jumped.
You're not jumping in Final Fantasy.
It's Final Fantasy. We just jumped. Complete freedom of jumping in this game.
Very nice.
But it'll come into play when you find some more, not necessarily platforming elements here, but there are some areas where you'll have to kind of be a little more nimble, run around. It just goes to more freedom in the map.
And introduces a little more explorative elements that you can take advantage of then.
Exactly.
Cool. Very cool.
So we're in battle again. You can see we've got
the monster here with us.
Yeah, Flambonero's his name. So all the monsters will have many monsters will have some sort of different name. This guy's named Flambonero. And he's fighting like a Ravager, so basically a black mage for us, as if he were a third character.
Can you control him at all? Like, how do you actually use that monster? How does the system work?
You're not going to manipulate him directly with the control pad or anything, but like in 13, you're controlling him with your paradigms. You're directing the flow of battle based on however you're strategizing that paradigm shift.
Okay, gotcha. And there's a way that you can also level that monster up and power him up, right?
They will level. We're not showing any of that yet. There's a back end behind it that we're going to reveal later on, but for now it's kind of all automatic.
I will look forward to that.
Yeah, thank you.
So what kind of enemies do we have here?
So these are bombs here. They look a little different in 13. We had a gauge filled, and this is called a feral link attack. Okay. There's a gauge below the Flambonero's name that when that fills, you can perform this attack. You see a couple of quick time events come up, and if you complete those successfully, you're going to deal a lot of damage. So Flambonero, his in particular, is to attack the enemy really quickly, quick succession.
Just go crazy on them.
Go crazy on them. Every monster's going to have a different feral link, so we just saw the one there.
Okay, excellent. How many, are you allowed to talk about how many monsters there are going to be available to us? Or is that
there's going to be a lot. We're not showing a number yet. We're still working on it. But yeah, there's going to be plenty.
Cool. And I see that the treasures from 13 are back again.
Of course, absolutely.
Floating orbs of goodness.
Absolutely. So we're just kind of rolling through some battles, and this one, this looks like we got a scale beast here. He's a little tougher than anybody we fought so far.
The creature on the right side, right?
Correct. So what we've done is, we've shifted to a different paradigm, and in doing that, we've changed the monster that's been in the party. So as you're shifting paradigms, you're also changing the monster in the party. So you're able to do all that mid-battle, kind of add some flexibility now to what we're doing.
Okay.
Just got to stagger this guy quickly.
Yes, we're very close.
Very close.
Are these the kind of monsters that are more weak against magic as opposed to physical attacks, or how does that work?
This guy's almost completely impervious to physical attacks until you stagger him. Yeah.
Very good.
And once he just died there.
But it wasn't a problem for us. And another
doing fine. 5 stars right there. Yeah.
That's great.
Killing it.
Beautiful.
So if we can open the map quickly, I want to show you something. You'll see the areas we've traveled so far are in light gray there. One of the big things the team's trying to work on for this game is, we understood the idea that 13 was a bit linear at times.
Okay.
So the big priority here is to take that and kind of expand upon the map system. All these maps are going to be much more complex. You'll see all these pathways. Everything dark gray is what we haven't explored yet.
All right,
a lot to explore and then check out there.
Is that indicative of what we're going to see throughout the game? These sorts of larger, more open-ended dungeons?
That's a core intent with this game, absolutely.
Okay.
It's all about trying to reintroduce player choice into the equation and making sure that whoever's playing this game is feeling like they're making it their own in as many ways as possible.
Okay, excellent.
Similarly with the monsters. Oh yeah, these bombs. Similarly with the monsters, choosing between those monsters, picking who you're going to put into your party, and how you're going to kind of set yourself up that way. It's all trying to add a little more strategy. We kind of try to do the more fast-paced thing with paradigms. It obviously puts the battles in a quicker clip, but at the same time, we're trying to reintroduce strategy as much as possible.
All right, awesome. Are you allowed to talk about what sort of how you control the characters in your party? Like if you're going to be able to swap them out with other characters, or is that not something you
for this demo?
About?
We're just showing these 2 characters, so not yet. We're right at the outset here. It's the first time we're showing the game, so
no, it's
take it slow.
It's all good. So now we're heading closer and closer towards Atlas, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Awesome.
He's kind of hiding around this corner here.
Okay.
Gonna keep making our way to him now. Keep in mind that earlier when we fought him, we really couldn't hurt him too well. We couldn't stagger him. We weren't doing a whole lot of damage very quickly. In the end, we had to get that help from the airships to come in and save us.
Right.
So, we'll get through a couple more battles, and there might be something that'll help illustrate what we can do to beat him a little more easily. But for now, we'll just keep pounding away at scale beasts.
And is the leveling system similar? I think at the end of the battle, there's a spoil screen, right?
Correct.
And it was very similar to what we saw in 13.
Yeah.
So I can assume we'll be seeing some similar things.
We are going to be kind of reevaluating that leveling system, so we're not revealing anything yet. Look for changes there, but the basics of it. Once you complete a battle, you get a rating based on how quickly you can do it. How that then applies to your bonuses and items received, that's all going to be reevaluated a bit, but you'll recognize it from 13 in a lot of ways.
All right, very good. Well, unfortunately, we're starting to run short on time. I mean, are we right around the corner from Atlas here? Is there? I think we might have to.
Yeah, you know what? If we can just run around this corner, we're gonna see him. He's gonna be cleverly hiding behind this structure.
It's Atlas.
I think we got him.
All right, we're probably going to win. I mean, this is Final Fantasy. We have to save the world at some point.
Exactly.
Right? All right, well, dude, I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much for showing us the game.
Thank you.
And guys, definitely check out Final Fantasy XIII-2 on IGN.com. I'm going to take it back to Naomi and enjoy the rest of E3.
Thanks a lot, guys. And for you Final Fantasy fans out there, how did that game look to you? Follow IGN on Twitter and let us know. Coming up next, Prototype 2 is ready to unleash some carnage. We'll see you soon.